Well, if you need a little inspiration today, you have got to listen to our next guest, Dr. Aliette St. Hilaire, author of Who Could Have Imagined. Thank you so much for joining us here today. You are just absolutely remarkable. Tell us a little bit about your journey in life and where you are now, where you started. I absolutely love your story.
Well, thank you for having me, Dawn. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Where I started, my goodness, as you said, you read some of the story. I grew up in the Bahamas. We moved to Miami when I was 6, and by the time I was 12 years old, I was pregnant and married at 13.
Wow.
It was a crazy world to be in, yes. And
I'm going to stop you right there, because what was it like to be pregnant at age 12, married at 13? I want people to really hear that.
It was
It's okay.
It was very difficult. It was traumatic. I found myself in a position where I was, not supported. I have no direction in regards to where to go from, where I was. And just having to find it within myself to navigate through, my story, through, the position that I was in. Because during that time I was told a lot of negative. I was told I was going to be a high school dropout, have multiple baby daddies, and be on welfare, all sorts of things. And so it was a very traumatic experience and a tough position to be in.
And for folks listening so far, they're thinking pregnant at age 12, married at 13. But if you didn't notice, at the front of your name is doctor. So you've done so much with your life. You've written a book. It's called Who Could Have Imagined? And it's because there were a lot of doubters in your life, right?
Oh, that's right. Yes, there was a lot of naysayers around me. I was surrounded by that. And something inside of me, Dawn, just said that's not going to be me. Everything that they were saying, I shut it out. You're going to be surrounded by naysayers, when experiencing challenges and difficult situations. But you have to find it within yourself or a higher power to believe and to say, no, that's not going to be me. I'm going to choose a different path for myself.
So what's your book about? Who Could Have Imagined?
Well, the book is about, I share my journey from being, young and having my parents, separate at a young age, and the experiences that, the things that I experienced, post their separation, and to being married, pregnant and married at a young age, and how I navigate through those choppy waters, and my convictions for staying married, raising my family, and my perseverance, and, through the different hardships and difficulties that I, that came along the way, and navigating, getting my career and raising my sons to, be what they needed to be in this society and be productive citizens, and, having a healthy marriage and helping others to do the same. So I talk about all of that, in the book.
So you've been married for 30 years. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been 34 years.
34 years, well, even better. So you are, you work in Florida, is that correct?
I do, Dawn. I work in Florida, yes.
And tell us what you do and how that also helps shape who you are.
I am an anesthesia provider, and I work at a very busy Florida hospital, and I work especially at the Paley Institute, where we work with children with born with deformities, and just being able to help shape the lives, the projection of the lives of these children. It's a ministry to me, being able to be an anesthesia provider in a time that's very difficult for them, and even individuals, adults, going through traumatic times in their lives and having to face surgery, because surgery can be very traumatic, and just the thought of going to sleep. And so I find myself providing calm and reassurance that I'm going to take care of them, and make sure that they come out on the other side. That's usually their concern.
And because you were able to come out on the other side, overcoming all of life's obstacles, what is the message? What's the hope that you want to share for folks?
I want people to understand that life happens. Life happens. You're going to experience challenges along the way. You're going to experience setbacks along the way. Like, hey, no one saw the pandemic coming, setbacks of losing loved ones. I lost my dad, the past couple months, and, people losing their jobs and all sorts of difficulties. But we need to not stop. We need to not give up and, feel like life is over, because it's not. It's how you face those difficulties and, choose to get on the other side.
You talk about a lot of different things in your book. Tell us some of the topics, some of the subject matters that are in your book, and what you want folks to take away from it.
So I talk about marriage and family life, very important to me. With my experience of being a child where my parents were separated at a young age, they were immigrants coming into this country, and it was much more tough than they expected it to be coming here, and that led to a lot of challenges and difficulties, and eventually there's separation. And with that separation, my family was separated. I didn't see my sisters for years. And along the path, I experienced a lot of traumatic experiences. And, I talk about the importance of family and, fighting through the difficulties. And, like right now, the marriage rate, the divorce rate is just skyrocketed. Yeah. And, we're at a time where we don't want to, fight for the marriage and fight for the family. And, usually, when the children are left in the middle of the separation, and we have to fight for our families. Marriage is hard work. It's not easy. Yes, it's easier to give up. It's easier to give up, but, we have to do the work, and with anything in life, we have to do the work, whether it's your career. I talk about that as well, just, raising a family and also fighting, to establish a career and everything. It's not going to be easy, but you have to be disciplined, put in the work that's necessary to, reach your goals.
And you talk about pushing forward, not letting the bullying or the name calling hold you back in life, too.
Yes, because, whether we're adults or children, there's a lot of bullying that goes on. Like when I was, a teen mom, I was, bullied and called names, and I had to shut that out. I could have easily gone home and say, I'm going to end my life. We have a lot of that going on right now, yes. Where the bullying is causing, children or people to feel like, what, I might as well just give up and just no, shut it out. It's what we take from it. We have to change our perspective and, and transform our own destiny. We don't have to choose to listen to what people say. People can say whatever. It's what we believe, and what we want to hold on to is what's going to determine us going to the other side.
Yeah, the best revenge can be proving everybody wrong, right?
Definitely, Don, definitely.
And I love how you said, you know, and I'm a firm believer in this. It doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish, right?
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Because, unfortunately, not all of us, get the best start. But again, that's where even in a marathon, you're building, you could start, towards the latter part of the race, but, you continue, moving forward. You don't look at who's behind you, you just keep moving forward, keep pacing yourself. And then next thing you know, you've crossed the finish line, and so that's the same thing with life. It's not how you start. You could start like I started off, in poverty. My parents were separated. I was 12, pregnant, married at 13. I mean, it was like all the odds stacked against me, but it was not how I started. I chose to change my perspective to transform my destiny. And by the grace of God, with his help, I believed in his word and was able to hold on, to, every bit of that and say, no, one by one, step by step, I'm going to take the necessary steps to get to my goals.
There's people listening to you today, doctor, and they're thinking, okay, I felt like I'm stuck, or all the cards are stacked up against me. They feel like they're just not going to get out of this rut. What's the message that you want to send to them? Is it ever too late?
It's never too late. It's never too late, because I remember saying, God, you said there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see the light. But because you said there's a light, I'm going to keep walking down this path. There are times where I could have chosen to give up. Again, like I said, it's easier to give up. But even with that comes consequences, because then now you're dealing with regret and then what I could have or should have, but when you keep pushing forward, and taking step by step, next thing you know, brick by brick, you've built the house.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to read your book. Tell us where folks can find it.
Oh, gosh, Don. So you can find it on my website, www.AlietteSt.Hilaire.com. It's available on Amazon. And, there's an audiobook, there's a paperback, and ebook as well. So it's, it's available for all to read. And my hope is that people will be inspired to live the best version of themselves, no matter where they're at.
All right, you are such a true inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us here on Wave Country. Coming up next, Active Heroes Weekend Campout Jamboree. We'll be right back.